I'm Chris Lickfold. I teach at Tring School, which is 40 miles outside of London, and I'm the assistant head teacher there with responsibility for IT. When we started looking at our use of technology, we realised that we were using outdated systems, that we're using too many platforms, too many solutions. So in 2015, we decided to look at all of the other options available to us in terms of how we could embrace technology more in the classroom and how it would impact the school. We were looking at something that was cost effective, yet at the same time would kind of move us forward into the 21st century. And we decided actually G Suite for Education gave us the best opportunity to do that and meet our goals as a school. So when we first started looking at our IT solutions, we wanted to make sure that we were using something that was going to future-proof the school, but also that kind of complemented our existing infrastructure. So we already had PCs, we already had staff laptops, so we wanted to use G Suite because actually we could still use it across all those devices. But all the additional functionality of G Suite meant that actually it was going to add so much to kind of our school from a teaching and administrative kind of context. So to begin with, it was just purely looking at G Suite. That went so well, the students embraced it, the teachers embraced it, that we started looking at Chromebooks as well and how we could actually incorporate those into the classroom. And the big thing for us with that was actually the 8-hour battery life and the fact that every student could access one fairly cheaply in terms of the initial cost. And that has had a major impact in terms of every single lesson that we teach in our school. So the first thing we did was get our leadership team involved. It's really important that staff could see this was actually something that was a long-term cultural shift as opposed to something that was just coming into the school for a year or so. So leadership team were given full training, followed by then key members of each department, so that every department in the school kind of were being trained from the initial stages and could see this was actually a permanent development and cultural shift within the school. From then, we started buying in a few Chrome bases and Chromebooks so the students could use them in lessons and teachers could get used to teaching with them. So before we even went to the one-to-one strategy, every teacher and every student had been using Chromebooks in lessons. We'd seen the effect of that, teachers themselves had seen the effect, and the students were using them and actually asking us if they could use them more. And then obviously the one-to-one strategy developed from there. From a results perspective, one of the major things that we saw to begin with was the engagement from our boys. Using technology in lessons really engaged them in lessons. It also engaged them at home with homework, and actually we were able to give them a greater flexibility of resources, differentiate lessons more for them, and actually they've really kind of taken that on board, and it's been really good to see that. We've also obviously seen an impact in terms of our school results. So we do a survey every year and we find out which subjects are the heaviest users of G Suite and Chromebooks in their lessons. And of those top 12 performing subjects, 75% of those we regard as heavy users of Chromebooks. So it is having a really positive result in terms of actually our examinations. I think that's also linked to the fact that all of their notes are far more organised and they can revisit all kind of materials that are on Google Classroom. All these tools kind of collectively together have made a massive difference, and then that's obviously then going to have a positive result in terms of the examinations.